Here's something I think about when I start to feel maybe guilty for wanting to have more and be bigger. And what I realize is, I feel like sometimes I have to keep myself in a smaller space. Like I don't want to take up too much space, and I don't want to, take away from anybody else. But it really occurred to me recently that that is just the wrong perspective completely. And one way that I think about it is that, if you can make yourself bigger, you're actually opening more space and more possibility for other people. You're becoming an example of how big and how good life can be, and how generous you can be, and how much you can put out there. So here's the analogy that I think of sometimes. The 4-minute mile, for the longest time, it was thought to be impossible to run a 4-minute mile. It was just like that was the absolute limit where the human body could not go beyond. And so many times runners would, try to break this record, and they just couldn't get past the 4-minute mile. And then finally, at one point, I wish I could remember the name of the person. This person broke the 4-minute mile. He ran faster than that, and he ran a mile in under 4 minutes. And after that, this is the really cool thing. After that, runner after runner after runner started to break the 4-minute mile. They began to run a mile in under 4 minutes. It was just that one person doing this thing that nobody thought was possible. It broke the dam. It broke the barrier. And all of a sudden, all these other runners are able to break through or follow this one person who broke through that obstacle, and then everyone else is able to now move through there and make it possible as well. I just think that's such a great analogy for why we have sort of a responsibility to be as big, do as much, be as bold, and be as generous as possible, because that opens the way for other people, and it shows people what's possible, and it gives the example of, I don't have to stay down here doing this little thing. I can actually be bigger, and I can be up here, and I can be contributing, and I can be generous. So think about that. If you ever find yourself trying to shrink a little bit, or I can't do that, rethink that thought, because you may be the person who's going to open the way for all the people to come.